Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today is going to be my Championship Week 7 score predictions. And this weekend in the Championship, guys, it could be the biggest one we've had so far. We've got some massive games going on this weekend, both at the top and bottom of the Championship. And I, for one, can't wait to get into it. So guys, if you've not seen this series before, let me quickly explain how it all goes down. So every weekend, I give you guys my Championship score predictions for what I think the results will be with each game going on in the Championship. FIFA 17 very soon to be FIFA 18. The next video actually should be featuring FIFA 18. They also make their score predictions, but what I'm really interested to know is what you guys have to say. So in the description down below, I'll leave all the fixtures that are taking place this weekend in the Championship, and then you guys can easily go ahead and make your predictions. And then if you do get any of your score predictions correct, I will include your comment at the start of the next video, guys. So apart from that, let's just get into some of these games. I'm looking forward to this weekend. And so we get into our first game, and this could have a huge implication at the bottom of the Championship. Coming up against each other, we have Bolton against Brentford. Now, an interesting thing about this game is that these are the only two sides so far in the Championship who haven't picked up a win yet. So, in my opinion, this is massive. Both teams need to win this, in my opinion, and there has actually been put quite a bit of pressure on both managers at this point in time. Bolton and Brentford fans, I'd be very interested to know as to what your current stance is around your current manager, because I've seen, especially at Bolton, quite a few people getting on the back of Phil Parkinson after a very disappointing start, and the same with Brentford as well under Dean Smith. So in terms of how I see this one going, I could see it going a couple of ways actually. One way it could go is this could be a bit of a cagey affair, and neither side is really going for it in fear of losing it, because if Bolton lose this game, they really could be cut adrift at the bottom of the Championship. Win it and they'll go off the bottom, so this is a huge match for them. However, some of the defending I've seen Bolton do this season has been absolutely horrific, and there's something just playing in the back of my mind that Brentford so far this season, in my opinion, they've been a decent side going forward, so I think that their attacking line will cause this Bolton defence far too many problems. So my prediction for this game is going to be a 2-1 away victory for Brentford. That's what I'm going to go with for this one, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be 1-0 Brentford. And then into our next game we then have Derby, who are coming up against Birmingham. So once again, a very interesting encounter, of course, with Birmingham currently sat second bottom in the Championship and just under an awful losing streak in the league at the moment. It's pivotal that they managed to turn around their fortunes sooner rather than later, but that's not going to be easy going away to Pride Park, where Derby have been a decent opposition so far this season, and of course Birmingham still currently managerless as well, so I'm not sure where the mindset of all the Birmingham players are going to be. Added into that as well, it's of course Gary Rowett coming up against his former club in Birmingham, so there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to want to get one over on Birmingham. And you know, in Derby's last home game, we saw them absolutely dismantle Hull City, so in this one here today, I could see quite a few goals being scored, so I'm going to go with a 3-1 home victory for Derby. Unless the Birmingham players do show some fight and come back for this one, I can only see it being a Derby victory. So I'll say 3-1 Derby. FIFA same. 2-0 Derby. Then for our next fixture we then have Fulham, who are coming up against Middlesbrough. So far this season, it's been no secret, Fulham have drawn a lot of games in the league so far. 4 games already, which they've seen play out as a draw. And Middlesbrough on the road as well, they've seen a couple of results not go their way so far this season. And Fulham really do need to bounce back from that shoddy performance they had last time out at Burton Albion. Middlesbrough at the moment do seem to be a bit of a potent force going forward, so they're going to be testing this Fulham defence, which has shown a couple of leaks so far this season, in my opinion. But in terms of a score prediction for this one, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think it could follow a similar pattern to quite a few of Fulham's other home matches they've had so far this season. They'll probably create quite a few chances, but at this point in time, they're not really sticking them all away. So I'll say 1-1, FIFA same, 2-0 Middlesbrough. And then for our next game we then have Leeds United, who are coming up against Ipswich Town. So a very interesting proposition coming into this game. Of course, Leeds coming off the back of their first defeat of the season last time out to Millwall. So I'm very intrigued actually to see how they will come back in this game. And it's not going to be an easy game against this Ipswich side, of course. If you do cast your mind back to that Millwall against Leeds match, in that game Leeds only had one shot in the entire match, which is pretty baffling actually, considering some of the attacking talent they've got going forward. So in this one, I feel like they'll want to turn around their fortunes and probably will look to attack Ipswich from minute one, in my opinion. Ipswich so far haven't been on the greatest of run in their last 3 games. I know they did get a win last time out, but that was against a pretty mediocre Bolton side. No offense to Bolton, they've just not been great so far. And previous to that, they were coming off the back of 2 successive defeats. But saying that, it's a good time to be playing Leeds at the moment. But I am going to fancy Leeds to bounce back from that defeat last time out. So for this game here today, I'm going to go with a 2-0 Leeds United victory, whereas FIFA same, it'll be 1-0 Leeds. And then into our next game we then have Norwich, who are coming up against Bristol City. And once again, another very intriguing encounter, which is a bit of a difficult one to call. This may be one of the harder games to call this weekend, in my opinion, of course. Norwich, we've seen them bounce back with a couple decent results recently, actually. And the game plan that they've imposed on a couple of those games, I feel like they'll need to bring a few of those similar traits into this game, because Bristol City at the moment have an attack which Norwich are really going to have to tame, you know. Some of the players Bristol City have got going forward are really firing on all cylinders, you know. You've got Bobby Reid, who's just been superb so far this season, Jamie Patterson in behind, and Jonathan Lecco as well, who's been in sparkling form so far this season. So Norwich have got quite a lot to contain in terms of that, but I can see them implementing that same sort of style they were playing against Sheffield United, where they'll look to hold on to the ball for large majorities of the game, and that will frustrate Bristol City, in my opinion. You know, they are quite a high pressing team, so if Norwich do manage to get the better out of them in those situations, Bristol City will get frustrated. So for that reason, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw for this game. I feel like they could cancel each other out, whereas FIFA same, it'll be 0-0. And then for our next game we then have my club Preston North End, who are coming up against Millwall. And for this game here today, I'm not anticipating it to be an easy game for Preston by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, Preston currently find themselves in the top 6, been on a very good run of form recently, but I'm not going to be taking anything lightly. Of course, we all saw what Millwall were capable of last week with that absolutely fantastic performance against Leeds United. I think they had over 20 shots in that game, so it's going to be a difficult one for Preston's defence to deal with all of Millwall's attacking talent. However, saying that, they've not got the greatest record on the road so far this season, and with Preston currently unbeaten at Deepdale, I am going to go with a 2-1 home victory for Preston, although it wouldn't surprise me if this one would finish level. But I'll go with 2-1 Preston, FIFA same, 1-0 PNE. Then as we do go into our next game, we then have QPR, who are coming up against Burton Albion. So I'm going to give quite a few plaudits to Burton Albion, of course. They got that terrific victory last time out against Fulham when I wasn't really anticipating them to do so. So fair play to Burton Albion. They've pulled off a couple of shocks so far in the league, and we've also seen them been on the wrong end of a couple of thrashings so far. But coming away to QPR is not going to be an easy game for them. QPR's home record so far this season has been, on the whole, very impressive actually. So I'm going to fancy them to carry this on in this game here today. I could be wrong, because Burton Albion are that sort of side when they really do turn up when you don't expect them to. So for this game here today, I will go for a 2-1 home victory for QPR, whereas FIFA is going to back Burton Albion 1-0. Then going into our next game, we then have Reading, who are coming up against Hull City. So this is an interesting game to go into and actually predict for this one, because both of them are coming off the back of a 1-1 draw in the last game week. However, saying that, I don't think either of them were the greatest in those 1-1 draws. Of course, Reading got that draw away to Brentford, and Hull drawing with Sunderland. I didn't think either of them were brilliant in either of them. However, saying that, for this one here today, I do think Reading may have the edge over this Hull squad, and for that reason, I'm going to go with a 1-0 home victory for Reading. I mean, in the Reading's last home game, we saw them just create an abundance of goal-scoring opportunities, and they couldn't find the back of the net with either of them. But for this one, I will fancy them to get 1 goal in it, so I'll go with a slim 1-0 home victory for Reading, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be 1-0 Hull. And then for our next game we then have Sunderland, who are coming up against Cardiff. So we were just speaking about Sunderland actually, and that 1-1 draw they had last time out with Hull City. In my opinion, they should have gone on to win that match probably, and they may be bound to regret some of their missed chances last time out, because they're coming up against this Cardiff side who on the whole so far this season have been quite an impressive outfit, and Sunderland's defence so far this season hasn't been something that's completely sold me and convinced me that they'll be a stable championship club this season. Their attack as well, they've got a couple of injuries to still contend with going into this game here today, so for that reason I am going to fancy Cardiff to get back onto winning ways for this game with a 2-1 away victory over Sunderland, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be a 0-0 draw. And then our next game does feature Wolves, who are coming up against Barnsley. So of course Wolves coming off the back of that fantastic victory they got last time out, and Jota for Wolves looks like he's in tremendous form at the moment, so Barnsley will really have to do work on him to keep him quiet for the entirety of this match. Barnsley will try and frustrate Wolves for large majorities of this game. I think they will probably adopt a more defensive mindset going into this one, and understandably so with some of the attacking flair that Wolves have got going forward. So I do see Barnsley frustrating Wolves actually for large majorities of the game. So for that reason, I am going to predict it to be a fairly low scoring game. However, I do think that Wolves may eventually break this Barnsley side down. So for that reason, I'm going to go with a 1-0 home victory for Wolves, whereas FIFA is actually going to agree with me and say 1-0 Wolves. Then into our next game we then have Aston Villa, who are coming up against Nottingham Forest. So of course we were recently speaking about that pretty impressive performance Villa had last time out against Barnsley, but so far this season Aston Villa have been a fairly inconsistent side, so their results are always a little bit hit and miss with how you want to go ahead and predict them. They're coming up against this Forest side who so far this season, they've been quite a hit and miss side actually so far this season. They're yet to draw a match, both winning for and losing for so far this season. So this prediction may be a bit of a bold one, but I am going to predict this one to end level actually. Aston Villa, who have already seen 4 draws for them so far this season, and I do see quite a few goals being scored in this one here today, but I'm going to predict it to be a 2-2 draw. That's my prediction for this one. FIFA saying it'll be another 0-0. And then for the last fixture taking place on Sunday, guys, this is the big one this weekend. That is, of course, Sheffield Wednesday, who are coming up against Sheffield United. And honestly, going into this game as a neutral myself, going into this one, I just hope it's a good spectacle, really. I hope it's not a cagey affair where neither side want to lose, because this is the first time that these two have come up against each other in quite a few years, actually. So I do feel like there could be a couple tackles flying into this one. I'm sure the atmosphere at Hillsborough will be absolutely electric for this one, so I'm really looking forward to watching this one. But in terms of how I think the game will pan out for this one, oh, it's a difficult one. I am actually going to say that this one will end as a 1-1 draw. Now, the reasons for that are, so far this season, we've seen Sheffield Wednesday draw quite a few matches, actually, and Sheffield United are coming off the back of that. They had that great run of form where they were winning, I think it was 3 or 4 games consecutively. That was put to an end the other week by Norwich City, so I feel like that may have knocked their confidence slightly going into this one. You know, if they were going into this derby on the back of like a 5-game winning streak, they'd be up for anything for this one, but they'll want to get a point on the board after this one. They won't want to, you know, go on a downward spiral and lose this one after they come off the back of a loss last weekend. So for that reason, it is going to be a 1-1 prediction from me. I do see it being quite a cagey affair, but honestly, I just hope it's a good game. So I'm going to say 1-1. FIFA saying 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday. And I suppose with some of the attacking talent that Wednesday have got going forward, I won't be surprised at that. So guys, there you have it. That will wrap it up for this episode of my championship score predictions, guys. So like I said at the start of the video, let me know what are your score predictions going into this weekend of the championship in the comments down below. But apart from that, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you have enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. And as well as that, make sure you subscribe for regular championship content and check out all the other links in the description down below. But apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.